This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you're talking about. Today's hosts are Sariah Bosted and Natalie Lundquist. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Hi, welcome back to BYU-Idaho Radio, The Spot podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Natalie Lundquist, and I'm here with my co-host,
Sariah Bosted.
We're so happy to have you guys here this week. Unfortunately, we did lose one of our hosts, Cameron, but we will try and make this podcast just as fun without her. No offense, Cameron. So this week, we kind of want to just go over our firsts. I kind of wish we had a guest for this week, but
yeah, it would be fun.
But it was kind of a last-minute topic, So I think the first one we should go over is first pet. What was your first pet, Sariah?
So it was probably some fish or something, but like the first pet that I remember was a miniature Doberman Pinscher named Princess Chloe. And she was kind of a brat, but I loved her because she was like our first dog.
There you go.
And she was sweet, but she was kind of a brat.
I feel like all dogs kind of are at some point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I feel that. My first, official pet of mine was a fish that lasted, 2 days. The first pet I remember it was more of my brother's pet until he went on his mission, then I took care of it. It was our dog that we got back in 2007. It's a little King Charles Spaniel. Her name was Carmel. She did actually pass away back in 2020. But she was, one of my best friends. She could definitely be a brat. I was the only one she ever bit, which I was kind of offended by. But she was definitely super fun to be around. But I remember we got her randomly. Nobody ever told me we were getting a dog. My brother knew because it was, his dog. But they went to go get her. I was at a friend's house. And then I come home, and there's just a dog in the backyard.
Just come home to a new family member.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I was like, okay. Super fun, but I'm like, come on, guys. Next, I have first best friend.
Okay, so my first best friend was more of kind of a forced friendship in the best way possible. Our parents were friends and our moms became friends when they were both pregnant with us. And I was born first and then she was born 10 days after me. So for the first 10 years of our lives, we were best friends until we eventually moved away.
Yeah.
Stopped talking.
Realized shoot, I can have other friends.
Life happened. But she's great. I still follow her on Instagram and our families are still friends. But
that's awesome.
She's not my best friend anymore.
I think my first friend that I made was my friend Jillian, who we're not really in each other's lives anymore, but she was my next door neighbor for the majority of my upbringing. So we would always ride our bike in the cul-de-sac and be at each other's houses, stuff like that, talk over the wall. Let's see, we're going to skip around on the list here. First crush.
Oh my gosh.
Do that.
Do I even remember my first crush? Oh my gosh. Okay, so it was probably... Oh my gosh, I don't remember his name, but it was in preschool, okay? And he said we were going to get married. And I was 4 or 5, and I completely believed him. Until I found out he said it to another girl, too, in the preschool.
That cheater! That two-faced liar!
To this day,
oh my gosh,
the funniest thing that's ever happened in preschool? In preschool.
Okay, still, that two-faced little liar. If you're listening and out there, how dare you?
I think that's hysterical. Oh my gosh.
That is really funny, actually.
In preschool. Two-timing people.
That's funny.
Wow. What about you?
So, okay. So it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of a two-story type thing. So there was this guy I kind of had a crush on. It was 3rd grade, but it wasn't a crush. It was more so he was really nice to me, and at that point all the other guys in our grade were really mean to me, and so I was like, is this what love feels like? What? But it's it was around Valentine's Day, and everyone's giving out their little Valentines. Nobody had given me one, and he came up and he gave me a bracelet. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. And then I have no recollection of him after that. After that moment, I forgot he existed until high school. And we had, like, found each other on Facebook. And then we, like, set up a double date, and then he stood me up. And those are my only 2 experiences with that man.
The 2 extreme sides of the spectrum.
The 2 extreme sides of the spectrum. I have no other experiences or memory of that man. So I, like, am flipping through my yearbook. I see him. I'm like, ugh, no. But then my first real crush was probably in 5th grade. So in 5th grade, my mom worked for my school for a little bit. She was doing some of the theater program, and so I had to stay for safety because I wasn't a part of that. And so there was this other kid in safety who was a grade younger than me. I remember his name exactly. I'm going to call you out. His name is Jesse Zarati. And he had the most beautiful black emo Justin Bieber hair because 5th grade. And we would always, like, play this game, which wasn't really a game. It was more of us just chasing each other around the field. So, like, we called it Vampires and Werewolves because he had long hair and I have sharp canines, so obviously. And it was just, like, really nice. He was, like, a best friend and a crush all in one. And I, like, was so just in love with this man. And then I moved on to 6th grade. He was still in elementary school. Neither of us had phones. So we're like, okay. But then I actually did, I found him on Instagram in high school and I DM'd him. And it's like, now we're like, we don't talk all the time, but it's like we have each other on socials. Like, we support each other. I'll, like, comment on his post, be like, yeah, go you. Like, you did that. And he'll comment on mine with the same thing. And I'm like, sick. But
solid friendship.
Right? Yeah. Okay. First team sport.
Ooh, okay. So I wasn't a very athletic child. Ever.
That's
so
fair.
I'm going to say, even though it's not really a team sport, the first, like, sport I officially did was track and field in, like, my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
But I was a thrower, so I kind of was on the more individual side.
Right.
Like, I wasn't on, like, the relay team or anything.
Okay.
But, like, that was fun. It was like, I liked the throwers and everything.
Wait, so what does a thrower do in track and field?
Like, shot put, javelin, discus.
Okay, cool.
But I just did shot put.
Okay. That's cool. I couldn't. That's awesome. Yeah, I think, I don't know, because when I was growing up, I would shoot hoops with my brother and stuff. And so I was kind of more on the athletic side because I was with my brother. But, like, both my sisters were dancers, so they were very athletic. But I think my first team sport, if I'm remembering right, it was tennis. I did varsity tennis my sophomore and junior year of high school. And then I didn't like the I'm a very competitive person, but I did not like the competitive aspect of that sport. I like playing that sport for fun, and that may be a bias as to the fact that I'm not very good, but but I ended up not doing it my senior year, but it was fun while I did it. I did like it when I did it. Ooh, first boyfriend.
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I was like, I don't think I've ever had a boyfriend. Liar. I did. 5th grade. For a month. His name was Stevie. And yeah, my first boyfriend, I don't know how we ended up dating. We sat next to each other in science because my 5th grade was, like, split up into 3. Like, you had a science block, you had a language arts block, you had a math block. And you, like, stayed with the same, like, homeroom to go to all 3 of those blocks.
Right.
It was interesting. But his name was Stevie. We sat next to each other in science. We ended up dating, as you do when you're 10, 11.
Right.
He got me a little tiger stuffed animal for Valentine's Day with a bunch of chocolates.
That is adorable.
And he was actually, like, very sweet, but I was very LDS, and I was terrified of the fact of dating before I was 16. So I ended it. Even though I was like 10, 11, like, why am I thinking so dramatic like that?
10, 11, you're not doing anything. You may have play dates every now and then, but farthest you'll go is you're holding hands at the playground.
He was my first, like, handhold. I don't know why I was being so dramatic about it. Like, I can't date before I'm 16. Like, okay, calm down,
if I hold
honey.
your hand, I might lose my spot in the celestial kingdom.
Right?
I can't.
Like, I look back at it and I'm like, girl, it was not that deep. It was not that deep.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is so funny. Okay, if we're going that far back, I think the first quote unquote boyfriend I would have had was 6th grade. I do not remember his name, but I know we both liked each other. We never like said like, yeah, you're my boyfriend or anything. But he drew me a picture of a panda bear. That was really good for a 6th grader, actually. I was very impressed. I think I still have it. And because panda bears are my favorite animal. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I just remember, like, everyone's like, oh, you like him? I was like, no, I don't. I'm like, we're just friends. Liar. But I don't know. I've always had like situationships where we're like, oh, we like each other, but we're not going to put a label on it. Because the dramatics and everything. But my first like official boyfriend was like, yeah, you're my boyfriend. And I'm going to change all these names because these happened in like the past like 3 years. But first official boyfriend was October of 2019. And it lasted 2 weeks. We're going to say his name was Jason. And Jason and I met on mutual. And we were like hanging out a lot. It was really sweet. We dated for like 2 weeks. And we had like planned a couple's costume for like this Halloween party. And then the day before the party, he broke up with me. Like, awesome.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah. So I typically, if I'm going through boyfriends, I typically don't even count him because I'm like, it was 2 weeks, whatever.
Okay, so let's go with your first adult purchase. Like the first purchase you made on your own, like big purchase you made on your own.
Okay, so first big purchase I made on my own was my Garmin watch. And it wasn't that long ago, actually. It was, I think I got it last year, beginning of last year. Because I remember I'm like really big on like budgeting and looking at my finances and stuff like that. And so I planned out for so long. I did so much research on what watch to get and all this stuff. And I decided on this one because it has, not only does it have like step tracking and stuff like that, but it tracks your stress levels, it tracks heart rate, it tracks your sleep, and then within your sleep it'll also show you like if you went, how long you were in light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, and then it also shows your movement throughout the night. And so that's all great. And then it also has a week-long battery life.
Nice.
Where it's like an Apple Watch, you have to charge it like once every 24 hours. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting that because I was looking at Apple Watches. But my friend actually turned me on to the Garmin. And I was like looking for so long, like, hey, how am I going to afford it and all this stuff? And I ended up waiting till I got my tax return. And I ended up buying it with my tax return and still having like $80 left over. So I'm like, nice.
Yeah. So my first adult purchase that I made by myself was either my AirPods, but those aren't really like big adult purchase. Mm-hmm. That was just me wanting headphones, and I got paid enough one pay period. So I was like,
right,
I want them and I'll get them. Like,
there you go.
It's my money. I can do what I want with it. And I had been saving a ton. My first big adult purchase was my MacBook.
Okay.
That I needed a new computer for school because I only had a Chromebook. And in order to use like Adobe software, I couldn't have a Chromebook. I needed like an actual computer.
Right.
So I talked to my parents about it, and they're like, if you feel like that's what you need to do, you can get it. So I got a MacBook, and I love my laptop very much.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have the same laptop that I've had since high school. But that will probably be, other than buying the car off my parents, that will be my next like big adult purchase, is a new laptop, because it's getting to the point it's crashing on me, and I'm just praying it holds out this last semester since I graduate in April.
Oh yeah.
So that I can just wait until after I graduate to get a new one, because I do not have the money for a new one right now.
Yeah. What was your first concert?
For one of my birthdays, my mom got me and my friend tickets so that I could like bring someone with me to an Elvis impersonation show.
Oh.
And her and I, me and my friend, love Elvis. Love him. Like, she's the only person I met that's on the same wavelength as me with him. We know every single one of his songs, all the words to them. And so we go. We're the only people under 40 there, and we're like probably 17 or 18, and we're just belting out every single song. And at one point, the Elvis impersonator had the classic red satin scarves that Elvis always had, and he was giving them out to people, and he kept looking at me and my friend and noticing that we knew every single one of the songs. And so he ended up calling me up and like was singing to me and like gave me a red satin scarf and like kissed me on the cheek, and then like afterwards he like autographed it and stuff. Such a fun memory. Oh my goodness.
So I never went to concerts growing up.
Right.
Like never went to concerts growing up. My first ever concert was this past summer, and it was the Jonas Brothers. Because I bought my sister a ticket because they're her favorite band ever. So I bought my sister the ticket because she was up here this summer staying with me because she had just graduated high school. So she moved up here to get a job and go to school. But she's like, I want to go to the concert. So I bought us the tickets the second they went on sale, and she paid me back. And that was my first ever concert. I went to the Jonas Brothers with my sister.
That is so
and
fun.
our cousin.
How old is your sister?
She's 19 now.
Okay.
So
not that far off
No.
from OG Jonas Brothers era.
No, yeah. So we were both around during OG Jonas Brother era. But then she got into them like way later.
Yeah.
Like she got into them right before their comeback. Like 8 months before their comeback. Like, she started to get into them, and then they announced their comeback.
Interesting.
So it was crazy. It was a weird time. But
That's
she had gone to their previous concert in 2019 in Seattle, up where we're from, in Washington. Okay. And then they were doing an outdoor amphitheater tour because of the pandemic and everything. Mm-hmm. So I just got us tickets in Utah, and we stayed at our aunt and uncle's house. Okay. And we took our cousin with us. I bought her a ticket, too. And, yeah, it was fun.
That's so fun. See, most young people now know the Jonas Brothers from, like, movies. Like, mainly Nick Jonas with all the movies. OGs know them from their original music.
Yeah.
Like, the Year 3000. Oof.
Year 3000.
What a banger.
Burning Up.
Oh, I know. Oh, my
Love
gosh.
Bug. It was really fun.
Any songs from Camp Rock?
When they did, like, all their old era stuff at the concert, it was so much fun.
Oh, I bet. It's like when like, the new sequels of our children's movies come out, like, or, like, how the new Buzz Lightyear movie's coming out, and it's going to be all the adults being so excited to go see it, and all the young people are like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Or, like, when Incredibles 2 came out, or any of the new Cars movie, or any of the new Toy Story movies.
Yeah,
like,
the new Toy Story movie. I brought the kid I nannied to the new Toy Story movie because his mom just bought us tickets, and I had the time of my life, and he's like, I have no idea what's going on. Because he's 5. So.
Right, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That's
crazy.
Funny.
Okay, so one I really like talking about is the first haircut mistake people have. Like, the first, like, haircut, like, they wanted, and they look back, and they're like, oh, that was bad.
Honestly, I don't know if I have one.
Oh,
surprisingly.
Lucky. So lucky.
Because, I remember, I'd say the only thing I regret is cutting my hair in the first place. Because my hair was down to, like, my belly button before I got my first haircut. And then I cut it, like, all the way up to my collarbones because I just wanted to change. And then after that, I'd like let it grow. Then I cut it. But I don't think I've ever had like a really bad haircut. Like I've gotten like short like pixies and boy cuts and stuff, and then I've had like bobs. I've had it to my shoulders. I've had it almost every length, and like I've had bangs. I actually back in 2017, I just decided one day, I'm like, I want bangs, and so I cut my own bangs, and they actually turned out really cute. And I'm like, surprisingly, I don't think I have one. And that is my biggest flex in life.
It should be.
Never having a bad haircut.
It should be. So I like to experiment with my hair. And my mom appreciates me experimenting with my hair and not doing something stupid. She says, I just like experimenting with my hair. So I've had everything. I've had bangs. My hair's been pink. Like, I love doing stuff with my hair. But I think the biggest like hair mistake I ever made, I was 12, and it was before we really understood, because you can't really tell right now, but like I do have like really naturally curly hair. Like right. I have a naturally curly texture. We cut it like I had a straight hair texture, which would result in funky layering and such. So when I was 12, I wanted to donate my hair to Locks of Love. I had grown it out, everything. They did a bob to my chin after they had cut the ponytail and then layered it in the back. So it was kind of like a Karen haircut. I was 12.
And then it goes curly. And so it's like an afro.
It looked horrible.
Oh,
I was so happy. But luckily my hair grows really fast.
Mine too.
So I only had that for like 6-7 months before like it went away and I didn't have the like weird layering in the back.
Right.
But that was a fun time for me. Like I look back at pictures and I still had baby fat at that point.
Oh, no.
So it like accentuated. So I looked like I was simultaneously 5 and 35. Like I should not have done that to my hair.
Did you just keep it curly or did you just consistently straighten it so it wouldn't look as wonky?
We would consistently like blow it dry with a round brush so it had like a curl to it. But it was also cut so short that like sometimes the curl just couldn't come out. Like especially in the back because it was like the weird layering in the back, stacked in the back. It was weird. And then like the difference between like my 6th grade picture and my 7th grade picture is so funny because my hair's long in my 7th grade picture and it's curly, and the 6th grade picture it's short and straight, and it was a weird time. Like very different hairstyles.
I bet. Yeah, so I've only dyed my hair once. My sister and we just went and got box dye. It was like a dark red, and it ended up looking actually really good. It took like 2 or 3 though to actually get the color to come out because we didn't bleach it or anything. And so it had like this nice like reddish purple tint under a certain lighting, and so it was really cute. But I've never like bleached my hair because like this is my natural color. But when I end up getting married, I do want to, me and my boyfriend have talked about this, get silver highlights, which will require bleaching, but that's kind of
that'll be super pretty.
Yeah.
Like super, super pretty.
Super pretty. So we'll see how that goes and if I'll have a new bad hair story to go for.
Fantastic. I think that looked good. Do we want to do like one more first?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay, so mine, I think we should do your favorite first day of school.
Okay.
Like your first day of school that sticks out to you the most, I guess.
I don't know. I think my favorite first day of school would be either my first day of freshman year of high school or my first day of junior year of high school. So freshman year of high school, I'm not a very feminine person, okay? I wear a lot of guys' clothes. I don't really do my hair, makeup, or nails or anything like that. And I know that sounds odd because right now I'm wearing girls' clothes and my nails are done. But my first day of freshman year of high school, I wore a button-up and a tie, and I loved it so much. And I still love doing that look. But I think that was fun because I'm like, at that point, obviously I'm nervous. It's my first day of high school. But at the same time, I felt better because I had already had a friend there that I met at freshman orientation, and then I felt good about how I looked, which doesn't happen very often, especially not back in high school. It didn't. And then my first day of junior year of high school, my sister had just gone off for her first semester of college, and we didn't get along a ton growing up, but at the same time, it's like not having her there was really weird. And she ended up like writing on my little whiteboard in my room before she left, just saying like, hey, have a first great day of junior year. I'm going to miss you a lot. If you need anything, let me know. And I just started bawling. And so I think that was good because I think that I was having a hard time with her leaving as is, and I think that was like kind of a push I needed to just be like, okay, it's okay, like she's just gone for a little bit, like you're not gonna lose her. And then we actually ended up becoming better friends through her leaving and like us not living in the same house. But I don't know, what's yours?
Mine would be it would be either, I think it's my first day of my senior year of high school.
Okay.
Because my little sister was a freshman, so I had my sister up there with me. I had, at this point, a really good group of friends. Like, a really solid, good group of friends, which, like, took me a couple years to build up that group through, like, some emotionally manipulative friendships and just issues. And I, like, had my best friend with me, who I'm still best friends with and roommates with to this day. Like, she's one of my favorite people in the world. And I don't know, it was just fun to have, like, to know this was my last year of high school and to, like, have a good group of friends, know all my teachers, like all my teachers, like all the classes I was taking. Like, I was ready to, like, take the year on, and I was super excited to do it with, like, all the people by my side and everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I think that's all we have for our first. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to our wonderful and crazy and amazing and happy and sad stories. We figured that throughout our podcast, we would like to end each episode on a little positive or motivational quote to kind of just give you guys a little positivity for the rest of your week and beginning of next week. And this week's quote is one by Andy Andrews, and it says, "Life itself is a privilege, but to live life to the fullest, well, that is a choice." So keep that in mind as you're taking your week on, and we hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.
See you. Bye.
You've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were Sariah Bosted and Natalie Lundquist. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. This episode was edited by Natalie Lundquist. Producers were the hosts with supervision by Brandon Isle. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. To listen to more episodes of The Spot, like and follow us on social media or visit our website byui.edu/radio and click podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to the BYU-Idaho Radio podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you get podcasts. And also leave a review of the show and leave a comment on what we should talk about next.